10 Most Dangerous Villains Naruto Fought Against. Though the foes he faced early in the series were formidable in their own right, his obstacles would only become more staggering with time. The Naruto universe has produced many deadly villains for its title protagonist to contend against. Though the foes he faced early in the series were formidable in their own right, his obstacles would only become more staggering through the passage of time. As his power grew, the threats surrounding him burgeoned as well. Many of them not only threatened Konoha, but also the world it inhabited. By analyzing the most powerful antagonists that Naruto has ever contended with, we can fully appreciate the extent to which he has saved those he loves. 10. Also known as the Nine-Tailed Fox, Kurama posed a threat to Naruto which led the village to distrust him. The Jinchuriki wielded insatiable bloodlust to match his power, one that his host would sometimes accidentally reflect when harnessing it seen through his training with Jiraiya. In order to overcome the threats facing Konoha, the young shinobi had to corral the spirit dwelling within him. After rigorous training from Killer Bee, he managed to level with Kurama, earning his trust and achieving the full extent of his strength. Not only would this significantly aid him in battle, but it would also keep his friends safe from himself. 9. Naruto had 2 separate battles against Obito, neither of which produced meaningful results. The first battle against Obito was in a forest accompanied by Sakura, Kakashi, Kiba, and many other of Konoha's finest shinobi. Despite their combined efforts, they were unable to damage their opponent who went by the moniker of Tobi at the time. Their second battle would be more meaningful but nonetheless fruitless. Naruto was assisted by Kakashi and Might Guy, managing to damage his mask and reveal his identity though failing to defeat him in combat. 8. Naruto fought against Itachi on 2 separate occasions. The first fight against Itachi was when the man had nearly claimed him for the Akatsuki beneath Jiraiya's notice. Sasuke attempted to intervene, but with unfortunately little result. Only Jiraiya could belay him and Kisame from capturing his student. Their second encounter was more meaningful, when the elder Uchiha was resurrected through the Edo Tensei. He fought alongside Nagato against Naruto and Killer Bee. Fortunately, he was able to break himself out of the jutsu binding him and gain his autonomy, preventing his companion from winning the battle, and possibly saving the lives of both Jinchuriki. 7. Pain possessed enormous power, was handily the deadliest foe that Naruto had fought at the time. Pain's 6 paths rendered him a versatile opponent, one strong enough to destroy an entire village and claim countless lives in a single blast. Even when exhausted, he was able to defeat Naruto, only failing to kill him on account of Hinata's intervention. Should they have battled under entirely even circumstances, and without his opponent's prepared shadow clones to give him sage jutsu, the Akatsuki leader would have murdered the hero outright. 6. Tonari was a deranged Otsutsuki member who had been marooned on the moon. Crushed by loneliness and desperately searching for meaning, he captured Hinata, intending for her to become his wife on account of their similarities through the Byakugan. This inevitably led to a confrontation between him and Naruto, one which would tear apart significant swathes of the planet they battled on. Ultimately, Tonari's power was so great that he himself could not control it, though Naruto would save him regardless before he exploded. After, the alien promised to serve as Earth's guardian and has kept to his word ever since. 5. After his resurrection, Madara had become more powerful than many could have fathomed in spite of his loss of Kurama. In addition to his innate abilities as a shinobi, he possessed the Rinnegan, much of Hashirama's chakra, and would later even master the 6 paths. This made him an incredibly challenging opponent to defeat and one that not even Naruto and Sasuke's combined efforts would adequately overcome. Only the treachery of Black Zetsu would fell the seemingly unbeatable ninja, using his death as the impetus to usher in the return of his mother. 4. Momoshiki was an enormously powerful Otsutsuki that intervened in Boruto's Chunin exams. He wielded immense strength that arguably eclipsed Madara's, defeating Naruto and the newly christened 5 Kage with little effort. It took the heroics of Sasuke and Boruto in order for Konoha's leader to rejoin the fight, using a combination of ingenuity and raw power to defeat their opponent. Ultimately, he would be obliterated through a massive, enhanced Rasengan, one which lent Naruto's power to his sons and embodied the passing from one generation to the next. 3. Kaguya was considered to be the progenitor of chakra and the most powerful character of Shippuden. Her jutsu allowed her to warp opponents into a different reality, creating spikes from her palms that killed any target they touched with a single glancing blow. She would have slain Naruto and Sasuke outright if not for Obito's intervention and sacrifice on their behalves. Imbued with Hagoromo's power and determined to save the world from her spell, Team 7 combined their strength to seal the woman back away, imprisoning Black Zetsu along with her and foiling his machinations permanently. 2. The final most anticipated fight of the series was Naruto's massive battle against Sasuke Uchiha. It illustrated that his rival had grown just as much as the hero did over the course of the series. Harnessing the power of the other Jinchuriki and posing a grievous and personal threat. His friend had claimed that killing him was necessary to establish a new world order, one which made him the single most powerful and feared ninja alive. Naruto's reluctance to kill Sasuke put him at a crucial disadvantage, but he was nonetheless able to fight him to a standstill. 1. Jigen was a member of Kara, one of the deadliest threats in the entire universe. Despite the combined efforts of Naruto and Sasuke, he was able to seal the former into a jar similar to a kettle. He did this instead of killing him outright on account of the tailed beast within his body. This portends a massive problem for Konoha and its allies, as the abilities of Naruto and Sasuke vastly overshadow anyone else's. Should their strength be insufficient, there are few shinobi capable of taking their mantle and succeeding where they had so critically failed.